go. That's right. Find out everything you want to know at the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Tune in for all the hotness. When it come to real estate, we cover all topics. First time home buyers selling your property. Want to build an empire? Real life monopoly. We talk duplexes, triplexes, multifamily units, and commercial investments. We got you. The Headley Group got you. You can own whatever you want. Who gonna stop you? We got you. The Headley Group got you. Here's your host, Mike Headley. How we all doing? This is Mike Headley on the Headley Group Real Estate Show, and we are back live with. Before I announce it, brother, he has a lot of great accolades here in the local market and additional areas as well. He's I'm gonna say big time. We're gonna take him to big time.
Stop.
Big time investor. He has training. He does everything that you pretty much you need for us with investments. And actually, he just started within the last 2-3 years, brother.
Yeah, for sure. I really went full time about 3 years ago.
Okay, so with that being said, now he's an alumni of the show, and we want to give it up to the investor, the king. We're gonna give it up to Mr. Belcher. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. Thanks for having me on the show again. It's always nice to connect with the locals versus everybody else outside of the market. So I appreciate it.
That's right. That's right. So before we dive into it, man, and all the great things that you are doing, because again, we follow each other on social media and we see that you're training. We see you out in the field. Actually, you're not just talking. You're actually showing people what needs to be done. And You're just not a trainer, but you're actually in the mix and you're profiting as well. You're doing well, correct?
Oh yeah. I honestly think that's important to not just like teach people how to do it or not just know how to do it and keep it all to yourself. You kind of need a mix of the two. You need somebody to look up to and you need somebody to be teaching to too as well.
Okay. So before we really, because again, we got a lot of things to unpack here. Let us know, if you don't mind, the age you started, how long you've been in the business, and how many properties have you acquired? And then we can take it from there.
Okay, that's for sure. So full-time 3 years. Okay.
3 years.
Now, I bought my first property, when I was at the dealership selling cars. So I was 25 at the time, or just turned 25. So I'm 30 now. So 5 years.
30
really,
club.
Yeah. Hey, it feels good too. It feels good. But it's been a crazy road. So as far as buying and selling, I've bought and sold a lot of properties. When it comes to assignments, I don't know the exact number, but it's more than 150. I know it's more than 150. When it comes to like rehabs, like when you buy the house and you actually fix it up and you turn around and sell it on the market, that's closer to like the 15 mark. And then when it comes to rentals, what I hold and what I'm on title to right now, I have 22 rentals that are rented out. Then I have 2 that are vacant. So I have 24 rentals, and I have three rehabs that are on the MLS right now. So check those out. And then I have 6 acres of land that I own that is on the market right now for sale too. So so that's kind of my portfolio, and that's kind of some deals that I've done.
Well, brother, we got to unpack a lot of good stuff here. I mean, you said let's talk about the assignments piece, 100 to 150 deals.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk for you, but was that your strategy getting into the business? The assignments, was that the first part, and then the other ones later?
No, actually, my first getting into the business, I just wanted to be a homeowner. Okay. I just wanted to be a homeowner, and then that happened by accident when my wife didn't want to move into the house that I purchased. So Miss Jackie helped me out and I got a tenant in that particular property, and I realized monthly income checks. So then when I realized I could get monthly income checks, I said, well, okay, I'm still need to be a actual homeowner and live in it. So we door knocked and picked up our next house, which we got bank financing through as well. So And then my next one, I said, hey, I want more of these small income checks. The next one I got under contract, but I couldn't close on it. So I was concerned about that because I couldn't get any more bank financing.
Okay.
As far as DTI, income and all those things as far as approval goes. But a guy at my church, Mr. Cox, he said, did you know you could sell paper? And so of course, that opens up a whole nother world when you realize you can buy houses without necessarily having the money. But you could literally buy it and sell it at the same exact time in the form of assigning your rights to the contract and taking home a fee. Once that buyer closes on the property, you literally get a check. And that once I found that out, that became my main strategy. Okay, because that's you need in business, you need big checks to come in, right? That supplies your bills, pays for marketing, gives you the life that you want to live. And then of course my original goal is to be a homeowner and then have passive income checks. Then you use those checks, those big checks that you have coming in, to buy some of those assets. So that way you can now have consistent flow rather than work and always looking for the next deal. So
correct.
So wholesaling is definitely assignments. It's definitely the main strategy that keeps the business running, but rentals is what supports the company and keeps the company, alive. It keeps it fresh, and it keeps your tax liability down too.
Correct,
so you can operate.
Walk us through, you talked about wholesaling, and again, a lot of, for the viewers who don't know out there, what exactly is wholesaling, and walk us through that first wholesaling deal. And was you nervous? Yeah. Was you excited? Walk us through that.
Okay. Wholesaling is cool. Okay. I personally like it. Now I will say it takes shark skin. You know what I'm saying? Shark skin is not necessarily rough, but it is thick. So you can try to cut it, but it's just going to leave a deep piercing. So it just causes a little pain. And so as long as you don't bleed, you're good. And that's how I see wholesaling.
And why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Well, because you have to make so many so number one, wholesaling, you're looking for discounted property.
Correct.
So if the property's in distress, great. Okay. If the seller is in financial distress, great. See, but that's the first thing. That's the first thing that you're looking for. Most people that want to sell, they want to get the most possible. That's just economics. The one thing that I learned from A&T is everybody wants the best for themselves. So since I own a property, I should want the most possible for the property that I own. So that's 95% of the market. So we're looking for 5%. So that means that you're going to make 100 phone calls and only 5 people are going to be interested. And then if you make 100 phone calls, literally those 5 people that you're interested, that should be interested, only one of them is going to answer the phone. So that means I got to make at least 300 phone calls today in order to at least talk to 3 people. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And I haven't even made them an offer yet. So it takes so much work that you really have to have a mindset that says, I'm not gonna, it's not over until I win. So that's why I say you got to have shark skin.
So that person, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But my first deal was literally in my neighborhood. Okay. That second house that I picked up, that I door knocked, I bought that house, and down the street, it's an older neighborhood right off of Young's Mill. And, right down the street, I noticed that a guy only came over to cut grass, and I just started communicating with him, letting him know, hey, whenever you're ready to sell, let me know. Whenever you're ready to sell, let me know. I'm looking for a rental property. And honestly, after about a year of asking him, he finally said, I was looking for your phone number the other day. Let's talk. And yeah, so we started talking about the property. He showed me in the inside. It was a hoarder house. He owned it because he inherited it from his mom. Him and his brother were the heirs. His brother lived in Charlotte and was homeless. He lived here in a trailer, but he's the one that took care of the property. And the reason why they hadn't sold yet was because they wanted $45,000 for the property. ARV after repair value is honestly somewhere around like 120 at the time. But it's a weird setup. They had chopped the top. you know, so it was a 1-1. And they chopped the top, meaning they made that attic a bedroom, you know. So he was calling it a 2-1, but it was really a 1-1, you know. And so that made that after repair value hard to hit for a lot of buyers, you know.
Let me ask you this here: how did you determine that it was a 1-1? What kind of documentation research did you do?
Well, so I determined it was a 1-1 just because he said, "Hey, this used to be an attic." Okay. So the height space for the ceiling, it was less than 7 feet. You know what I'm saying? And for a realtor like yourself, a lot of the times we're not going to classify that as, you know, as a bedroom. And then also it didn't have any heating or air up there. So once again, not really a bedroom. And it also didn't really have a closet either, but it did have a window. So not really a bedroom. But in his mind, he had built up that that's what it was worth.
Correct. Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're going to interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that. Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I saw the value. I saw the value in it because it was in my neighborhood. So I figured if I could own my block, I figured if I could own my block, it was worth maybe doing the 45 that he wanted to do. Okay. You know, and so, you know, I took my chances out on it, and I got it under contract, gave him $500 as a earnest money deposit. Okay. And I went to go, you know, like I said, try to get financing. Okay. A week into trying to get financing for it, like I said, I wasn't able to get it. I went to church. I told my, you know, Mr. Cox, he works for the housing authority. So he's, you know, he was, you know, somewhat familiar with real estate. And he said, well, yo, just sell the paper. You know, sounds like you might got a good deal. So just sell the paper. And so he explained the concept of going down to the RIA, talking to other investors, saying and letting them know about the deal and showing them the property to see how much they would pay for it. And if they would, I could literally just create another purchase agreement. Yeah, he didn't know about assignments. He was talking about double closing. He said, I literally can just close on escrow 2 first in the morning. So that means the money would be there with the attorney, and then close on escrow 1 later. And then boom, that money would just flow over into escrow 1, and I would have a spread check. So honestly, it was a really hard deal. Nobody wanted it at the number that I had it at. But by the skin of my teeth, I found a Hispanic guy, a Hispanic lady that said, hey, I got a couple buyers, you know, but, you know, I need a $2,000 fee if I sell it. So I made $1,000 on that deal. Okay. She sold it for me. She bought the buyer, you know, and it turned out to be Adam Spear. And that was led by God. Okay. I'm sorry, this is long. I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, actually, because what you're doing is you're taking us, I think stories are so magnet that you're taking us down that journey. So I'm actually visualizing the steps you took versus you just talking, so that I get that.
All of this was good because number one, it taught me that I didn't have to know the buyers. Okay. All I had to do was just find people that hung around buyers, that hung around people with money. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to necessarily have that relationship. Somebody else could do that work for me and I could still get paid. So that was a big lesson too.
Okay.
Meeting Adam Spear, I was still at the dealership. Okay. So he bought me the earnest money check at the dealership. This is what got me. So he bought me the earnest money check and he says, yo, so what are you doing here? You getting your car serviced? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm not getting my car serviced. This is where I work at. He says, bro, you know you don't have to work here. And I'm like, I was like, bro, this is where I work. I've been selling cars for 4 or 5 years. I like doing this, okay? And he's like, no, man, you don't have to do this. Me and you, we can walk out of this door right now. I'll hold your hand if it makes it easier for you. And he gave me his story about how he's never worked for anybody. And that thing stuck with me for about 3 weeks. I closed on that deal, a week later. 3 weeks after that, literally, I quit my job because what he was saying to me really, really stuck with me. So, but boom, boom, boom. I found out at that point, I could get properties under contract, you know, at a fair price, not necessarily at a deep discount, but at a fair price. And I could find someone, you know, who I could have other people bring their buyers to me. I could have realtors bring their buyers to me. I could have other investors bring their buyers to me, because the hardest part about this business, like I said, is finding the good deal. So as long as I had the gold, right, I was going to attract all the jewelers I need to help me make that gold into something special. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Wow. So that's what led you to doing between 100 and 150 assignments.
Oh yeah, it's having people help me. That's how you do a lot of deals, because you can't do it all by yourself.
Correct.
You know, that's what causes, that's where a lot of people is going wrong. They're so worried about sharing information to keep it all to themselves. They forget, the Bible says it takes two, so what I mean? So you know what I mean? And and literally that's how I've been able to do 10 or to 12 deals every month consistently, is by having a small niche group of people around me that I can teach how to do it. They'll bring me deals and we'll all make money together. So
wow, got you. So a family eats together and everybody benefits together.
Heck yeah.
So now let's segue into the rentals. You own 22 rentals within a 3-year period, right? Yep. So now, and again, I don't want to dive too much into your business. I'm gonna have you say it.
Yeah, we can.
So rental 1 all the way to rental 22. Is that the same thing? Because you mentioned team. Is that a team effort, or is that you, or is another partner, or how does that look like? What does that look
all
like?
Right. So I love this. Okay. So it's good and bad along the way. Okay. Good and bad along the way. You definitely learn a lot as the time goes on. Okay. So now my first 2 I picked up via lease option from Mr. Cox. Okay. Mr. Cox from my church. He told me how to sell paper, and I told him I was looking for a property. He says, "Yo, I got 2." And so I didn't negotiate these the best way, because I was really just getting started. So
I got these. He's going through the learning stages. We all go through it, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So I got those on lease option. One I put 15 grand down. The other I put 3 grand down, and I got them at a fair price. And I was able to refinance those out just last year. Okay. Oh, wow. So those are still the same. Well, one has the same tenant in it. That worked out well. The other over on McConnell, I've had 3 tenants in it, but it cash flows great. Now I have 7 of them with one partner. Okay, he's out of Texas, and the way our partnership is set up is through an LLC. Okay. So his problem is he doesn't have time to do this. He doesn't have time to find deals, which that's a lot of people's problems.
Correct.
And but he has money, so he doesn't necessarily need it right now. So we didn't do a lending or note or anything like that. What he said was, you find the deal that gets my money a 20% return, and anything over 20% return, that's yours. And we split rent 50-50. Okay. We split ownership 50-50 through the LLC. We split rent 50-50. Honestly, Sawand, I don't need any money. So if you need to, I can just leave all the money in the account so it grows. And anytime you have a deal, you can just use the account to buy. So that's our relationship. That's great. We own 7 properties, 4 of them subject to, meaning we found a distressed homeowner where we helped them catch up their mortgage payments, save their credit, stop foreclosure, and and literally take over the debt. Okay. Deed changes to us, debt stays in their name, and we're able to leverage that. And then we have 3 that we just paid cash for, a townhome, and 2 title issue deals that are crazy, have crazy profits on them. But yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Question here I want to ask you. I want to back it up a little bit. Okay. You said you have the subject to, right? Whereas though they're in default, but you saved them and still, but the title's not in you all name. Is that correct? Or is it?
No. The title is in our name.
Not titles in your name. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens on a subject to, or if you look at a HUD, there's a line on the right side of it, line 503, that says loans taking existing subject to. Okay. So the warranty deed, which is the owner, and the deed of trust, which is the mortgage company, are 2 pieces of paper.
Right.
So essentially, in order to take ownership, you don't have to change this deed of trust, that second piece of paper. You see? So we put the seller sells us the property, and on the HUD, they sell us, leaving that mortgage in place. right? So they deeded over to a trust. We create a trust, and we own and our LLC owns that trust. Okay,
Mm.
so we own the property, right? So even though the seller still has the debt in their name,
Mm-hmm.
it's our property. So in order for us to keep the property, we must pay
Pay.
that debt until it's paid off.
So
Okay,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and literally that's how that go. We've done flips that way. We've done rehabs to sell that way.
Mm-hmm.
We've done rentals that way. We've honestly done a bunch of exit strategies using sub two. And honestly I have 14 of those total, but just 4 with that particular partner.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
and the fact that the good nuggets I'm getting out of that is that you've developed a great partnership, whereas though the partnership says, okay, I want to make a little bit of money. I don't got to make a lot of money. So you benefit from anything extra. And at the same time, you have a piggy bank, so to speak. When you see a deal, you can move quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yep.
how did you don't got to get specific, but how did you
Yep.
develop that partnership and develop that partnership?
Okay, I'm gonna get super specific, okay? Because honestly, having the knowledge is everything.
Exactly.
Okay, so the way you want to find private money partners, number one is you need some type of success. You need some type of credibility. You can't just have no experience and no drive, no energy, and not that doesn't work like that. You need to have an A report card. Okay, so the way I found this particular guy is, remember, I like assignments. So that means I get the property under contract, I assign it to my buyer. Most buyers have another investor that's funding them the deal, that's funding them the money. Okay, because money only goes so far. Most people use leverage. It's one of the benefits of real estate. So if you look at the HUD, very simple, there's the seller, there's the buyer, and then there's the guarantor. Very simple. So every HUD on your assignment agreement, you should have a clause in there that tells the attorney, even though I'm giving up my rights to the property, I need to stay involved in the whole transaction. So if you have a title issue, let me know. If you, whenever the docs are ready, let me know so I can review them. And also I must have my own copy. So every time somebody closes and they use private money, I simply look at their guarantor. I skip trace the guarantor, meaning find their phone number. Okay. And then I say, hey, Mr. Private Money Guy, thank you for funding that deal for John. I really appreciate it. He's one of my best guys. I love him. If you ever need anything, you let me know. Okay. He got my number. I got his number. And then I just start to cultivate. Okay. I start to cultivate. I say, hey, Mr. John, look, I instead of selling this house to John, I picked this house up myself. I fixed it up. Look at this house right here. Oh, you look at that. You did a good job with that. Yeah, man. Can I shoot you any opportunities that I have where you might get a 14% interest, on your return, backed by deed of trust? Yeah, sure. Me and John, we're doing a lot of deals, but definitely send them over. And that's exactly how I found my partner. Okay. But it comes through follow-up. I mean, that was like Kendall came from like a year follow-up, sending him deals consistently. Okay. Another guy, I don't want to jump too far ahead of us, but another way to find good partnerships is whenever I'm selling my deals, it's all marketing. Okay. I have a disposition site where I sell my properties at. Okay. And it's triaddiscounthomes.com. Gotcha. And whenever someone wants to see my inventory, they have to give me their phone number, their name, and their criteria of what they want to buy. And one of the questions that I put on there is, would you consider lending? Yes or no? So of course I've been doing this for 3 years now. So I have like 20,000 people, 30,000 people on this list. So anytime I want to look for private money, I just simply separate this list. Anybody that said yes, correct, I'll send them text messages or call them and say, hey, look, I got this opportunity. You said you might be interested. Call me if you're interested. And that's you cultivate relationships. That's really all it is. It's just cultivating relationships and being able to stay in front of them long enough, for them to finally realize you're the real deal and you're worth taking a chance on, because they're really taking a big chance.
Correct. Correct. So, and the thing is, you said, I think what gives them insurance is, one is about your credibility.
Yeah.
Two was about you was able to show them, hey, from A to Z, this is what I'm able to do. And the fact that it's backed by a deed of trust, right?
Yeah.
So it gives
all
them
of that.
definitely like, okay, worst case scenario, I can always foreclose, get my property back. Right?
Exactly. Honestly, in my promissory note, I make it even easier than that. I give them a COT. So if I don't pay them after 90 days, they don't even have to foreclose. We just sign a rights waiver, and they literally, I quitclaim the deed the house back to them. Wow. If there's ever a problem. But as a real estate investor, what I tell all of my investors who invest with me, brother, I'm smart doing this. Okay. So I'm not over leveraging the money that you're giving me.
Correct.
Honestly, I could sell this house right now as is and make money, and that's the type of situation you want to set up yourself in, because imagine you doing deals with these people for years and years. Imagine how much money you're making them and how many properties you can accumulate, and the name that you'll have after doing this thing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and what you'll be able to accumulate. So that's, I'm in it for the long game, I'm not in it for the right now.
That's it. So now let the audience know, every time anybody gives us acronyms, we always got to break it down. You said CLT. Yeah. What is that?
Honestly, I don't even know what it means exactly.
Okay.
My attorney uses it. Yeah, my attorney uses it.
Okay.
What I know about it is it pretty much waives my right to the property, so they don't have to file foreclosure. Because that foreclosure process, they have to go down to the courts and do a notice of default and things like that. It literally waives my right to say, I pretty much waive all of my rights to the property after that 90-day mark, and I can't do anything, as far as ownership goes. I can't sell it or anything. All I could do is just quitclaim deed it back to him. Okay.
So it automatically reverts back to them.
It automatically reverts back to them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The attorney who did the closing, they know after 90 days, I got to record it back in the other person's name. They would know that.
Exactly.
Wow, that's you taught me something I didn't even know about that. Wow.
And it's really for a trust factor thing, because imagine, I'm a 30-year-old guy and 50-year-old man, he's never heard of this, and he's giving me, I just bought 6. He's giving me $181,000 to do this deal. It makes them feel comfortable doing the deal with you, knowing there's some little nuances that makes it easier for them, because they don't have all this knowledge.
Correct.
Okay. They don't have. That's why they're giving you the money. So if you put those little nuances in there like that, it really makes them feel comfortable with doing the process.
Correct. You're securing yourself all the way around.
Yeah.
Now let's walk us through a flip. You said, how many flips have you done?
Real Estate Show. Tune in for all the hotness. When it comes to real estate, we cover all topics.